Which I think is smart against IMT specifically. You know that Xerxe plays it. You also know that they're willing to flex at top. We're still going with the Ziggs. Okay.
I'm also surprised at the priority from Immortals out of it because while it is a good pick and I like it, C9 hasn't shown any proclivity towards it, so it does feel like a surprise takeaway this early.
Yeah, however, if you are going to take it, taking it with consistent AD threat is very important. Now, all of a sudden, the Aurelia ban makes sense because Aurelia into Lucian is actually quite a good matchup. You can just chase it all over Summoner's Rift. So I like where Immortals are going with this lane matchup. You can completely ignore Ziggs. It's self-sufficient. Sometimes doesn't even need a support. And they also flex it a little bit. So, like, this is a team that I think use it quite well.
All right, so, I mean, obviously, these two picks could go wherever they want. They're not necessarily locked into specific lanes, but Mark, would you not, based on the performances of Immortals so far on these two champions, prefer the Ziggs to go to the mid lane?
I don't know. I feel like you could argue that Insanity may be the better Ziggs, but I actually do like what it does for them bot lane more because I feel like their bot lane has been somewhat inconsistent, and this shores it up and allows Xerxe to mostly play around top side.
Yeah, I actually agree, and I would even push that further to say Insanity is much more comfortable on Ziggs than Raes, but I think the strength that Lucian allows you in the mid lane is just too important to give that champion up and move it.
All right, Kalista, Nautilus, the response will close it out with the Leona before we hit that second ban phase.
And when I look at these two comps so far, I'm really favoring Immortals comp because I think that their comp is way more flexible and has so many strong, like, core picks within it. I especially like Leona on the current patch because the ability to be able to lock down specific champions. And a lot of people don't want to build Merc trades because there's so many AD bruisers running around. And if you have like a Ziggs bottom lane, top half of the map probably is going to be focused on that AD. So I'm really liking what Immortals does. In saying that, Cloud9's comp, so explosive. As soon as you have something like a Kalista, you can heavily play around the dive pressure of this champion. And Cloud9 is one of those teams, as we've seen in the past. If they get rolling, it's really hard to take the lead back off them.
I feel like that's been the story for a lot of this meta, is like, I watch a draft and I'm like, oh, I think this team outdrafted them. They do these things better in team fight situation, but the one team has better early game and then they're 5,000 gold up with 4 dragons at 25 minutes.
And nothing else matters.
And I'm like, yeah, well, it doesn't really matter how the team fight's supposed to go because you just dive.
And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say if you have a better early game and historically you're a better team, it is much easier to win the game. I'm a big fan of picking good early games against teams that are better than you because reality-wise, in League of Legends, it's not an equal playing field. It starts to tip as the game goes on and the gold lead starts to matter a little bit more.
Yeah, that's why we got you on the desk. When you're good at the game.
I'm just saying, if you're not as good as your opponent, pick stronger early game.
Right.
Yeah, right. No. You give yourself the best fighting chance to have a gold lead going into the mid to late. Exactly, right. And then you have the agency, or rather the the forgiveness to make a mistake or two, but just out item, out stat your opponents.
So the Diana, if that ends up being locked in, is a little surprising to me. It might be also a bit of a takeaway from C9.
From Blaber, yeah.
Because you can still put the Diana in jungle with the solo lanes, but it does mean that the Ziggs is,
whoa! Lightning fast picks.
All melee dive, baby.
Let's go.
I want to retract my previous statement about liking Immortals comp more.
Yeah?
Yeah, because now they've got, not only have they picked like a weaker early game, they've picked a jungler that technically can't do anything before level 6.
Yeah, that's true.
This is really the sit back and pray methodology of League of Legends, which I'm not a huge fan of. If you're going to pick a weak bottom lane, I would prefer Immortals actually have something like the Lee Sin, Zin's out, obviously banned this time around, but even Volibear to be able to get that early game snowballing. They've gone with something like a Sett that's a little bit more forgiving, especially if it's in the mid lane, but overall,
Now, the last time they had the Ziggs AD carry situation, they did pull the 20-second swap, the very last second. So we'll wait to see where this is officially going.
Yeah, and I gotta say, the Diana takeaway makes a lot less sense when you still have Akali on the table. I miss that not like getting through the bans, because if you're trying to force them into all physical on the top side and kind of pinch them with the Diana takeaway, still having Akali as a diving AP assassin kind of defeats that purpose.
Yeah, however, she is slightly changed. Like, the priority of Akali in this patch has gone down, I would say significantly. She's a lot clunkier, can't cast a Q during the E, like a little bit of a damage hit there. So I can see why they would think that it wouldn't be as favored.
Well, it's official. The Ziggs is going back to the bot lane. So Mark, your commentary about how maybe it guards against some of the inconsistencies that we have seen from that lane for Immortals, but also then gives Insanity a little bit more agency to make stuff happen early.
Especially with Diana, you don't want to be double magic mid and jungle, so definitely going bot lane after that point.
All right.
They get the prio from Lucian, and hopefully Ziggs will not have a similar start in the last game where the level 1 just decided that entire lane and they got smashed.
So it seems, though, that by the end of Champion Select here, our confidence in the Immortals side of things dwindled pretty quickly.
Yeah, look, I like to keep the Oceanic confidence there, but now I'm all in on the Fudge train. He's my Oceanic.
Oh, wow.
You had it out.
You just play favorites. I got it.
All right, well, champions are locked in, teams are onto the Rift, so that's my cue to hand it over to Flowers and Kobe to talk about some League of Legends.
Thank you very much, Dash. I do so enjoy talking about some League of Legends, especially when I got my good buddy Kobe here next to me, and we are going to be taking you all through these first 3 games of the day. Now, as the teams are making their way onto the Rift, Mr. Kobe, I do believe you recently won a bet.
Yes, we have the small matter of me and Freak betting on Cloud9 versus Immortals previously. So where is Freak? Pay up, son!
I don't know what's worse. On the one hand, losing a bet to Kobe. On the other, waking up 4 hours early to get face paint for 30 minutes just for this, because I wasn't even going to be casting today. Whatever. All right, listen. Even though I look like Cloud9's biggest fan, it has given me insight into this actual matchup, and it's that I still believe in Immortals. Cloud9, you're going down. You made me look like this by winning last time. Not going to happen again. Let's go, Immortals.
Well, everybody on the desk seemed to be thinking Cloud9 won the draft and they were going to be running away with it, but hey, Freak, ever the contrarian, cheering for Immortals.
That's what I like about Freak. He never gives up. You know, he's just going to double down on his losing bets. I actually want to double or nothing him.
Right here on this one?
I don't know what elevating the face paint to be, you know, the next level for the double
Full body paint.
would be. Yeah, I don't think I want to see that.
He is now a cloud.
Flowers.
Hey, we had to wear those morph suits, those fake morph suits that I still thought were real, by the way, during that one April Fool's thing. Can't be worse than that.
Oh, it could be worse if Freak is wearing it. Let's get right into this game, though, because we are on to 11.14 Flowers, and there's some critical changes that do affect this specific draft. Mainly Akali. Okay, they took a lot of damage out of the Akali ultimate here. So when we're used to seeing Cloud9, you know, with Perkz on Akali like this, there's a lot of power later for the scaling for this champion. It still is that, you know, the weak early game laning for Akali, but you don't have as big of a payoff later with a significant amount of damage taken out of both R1 and mostly R2.
And even with those direct number nerfs, the other thing that's worth pointing out is exactly what we heard Spawn mention on the desk right as we saw the pick get locked in. The inability to cast the Q during the other spells now makes it much more difficult to just front load that damage and guarantee that burst all the time. So a little bit more difficult to make it happen as swiftly as the Akali players would like. Along with those direct damage nerfs, we'll see how it affects Perkz as we move forward here in this game. Right now, what I want to see is who's going to get involved first between these junglers as they are pathing to opposite sides of the map.
Well, if you're a betting man, Flowers, and I know you're not, you would almost always bet on Lee Sin to get involved first because Diana does want to farm up to the level 6 point. You know, Des touched on it as well. She's much more looking towards power clearing. I think that Lee Sin right now in the meta for junglers is at a very, very good spot. And for Cloud9, definitely looking at Blaber trying to target bottom Scuttle Crab because that's their pushing lane. And they have full priority from the bottom lane. We just were over Zven and Vulcan pushing on bottom side. So that's the main thing that will cause fans to kind of relax is as soon as Cloud9 have secured first Scuttle Crab and avoided any travesties over that area, things will look a lot better for them. Guess what? It's about to go down, Flowers. That crab doesn't stand a chance.
The crab is down, and Cloud9's greatest obstacle in the early game has been overcome. Fans are rejoicing, but down here in the bottom lane, it's Vulcan going flash for flash here with Raes. Now with the follow-up damage coming in onto Destiny, it'll be Cloud9 winning the trade.
Speaking of some of the changes, too, for Ziggs, because Ziggs has gained so much popularity, especially as a bottom laner, there was one single change to Ziggs on this patch, Flowers. And I'm not memeing here. It is a real change. They changed the base mana down to 420, and that's the only... I swear to God, not a meme.
The dankest.
It's the only change to Ziggs, but you see, starting out with the mana crystal there for Raes, you know, the change is basically they only took 60 mana off the base mana for Ziggs, so you got one less bomb.
That's
in
what
lane.
One less spell. Much.
And he did start out with the Sapphire Crystal there, so getting extra mana that way. But it's always going to be Kalista Nautilus push down there on bottom side, especially Zven and Vulcan. Kalista being one of Zven's most famous champions from his old days on Origin under a previous name. And it definitely should stay that way for him. But I will say, Raes CSing quite well on the Ziggs. You give up your push, but focusing on that farm.
And you can see, talking about farm, Perkz doing an excellent job farming up underneath the turret here as the Akali, just trying to survive against that Lucian during this early laning phase, with Insanity taking the opportunity to go back to base. That will allow Perkz to get this shoved up even further. Insanity's the first one to TP back, so Perkz just wants to shove out the rest of this, and then he should be able to respond with that TP of his own if he chooses.
And of course, you know, Insanity here is going with the early tier, so going into the Muramana build for Lucian. Not the more popular, you know, Faker solo queue style build. Yeah. Going straight for Shrelia's second, right after the Mythic. And it is definitely a bit more scaling. You know, once you finally get your power spike of actually converting it, there's a tremendous amount of power there, but takes a little bit longer to have that sort of effect. Meanwhile, topside, you see Diana kind of hovering up there around the Fudge Revenge lane.
Yep.
If Fudge, you know, oversteps a little bit, he still is level 5, doesn't have his ultimate, so would have to burn his flash.
Okay,
now he gets
Revenge
6.
Goes for the stun. Fudge has the level advantage here, but having the man advantage much more important. Xerxe, however, without an ulti, won't find a play to make there.
That, though, revealing on top side as the jungler, of course you are going to be giving up your dragon, even with the ward on bottom side here. So Cloud9, you know, Blaber reacts appropriately here. Diana definitely continuing to farm away. Xerxe is almost towards his level 6, where you get your actual kill threat with your ultimate for the extra burst damage.
Yep, and Immortals are saying, okay, that dragon is gone. There's no way to contest it. Instead, Insanity is just trying to get as much damage onto those turret plates here nice and early as he can to extend that gold lead.
And that's part of the plan for Immortals. They were never hell-bent on contesting bottom side. You know, they locked in the Ziggs Leona there facing the Kalista Nautilus, so not trying to force any of those early fights versus Cloud9 down there. Making a couple of plays up on top side. At least you get paid a little bit for the dragon on this, stealing away the blue. Little bit of chunk damage up towards Fudge, who had to teleport right back out. Now resulting in that teleport discrepancy, and now resulting in a quick little pause.
And we should see Xerxe hit that level 6 here very soon, which of course is what we want to see from Diana, to really start making more ganks and trying to make more plays happen and get out of the PvE and more into the PvP. That's why we're playing League of Legends. This is not a raid. This is PvP. And I want to see players killing each other.
That would be a sick raid, actually. The next
PvP raid.
the next raid is on Summoner's Rift. And the final boss, Flowers? It's got to be Baron, Elder Dragon? Who you vote for? I'd say Baron's got to be the final boss.
The whole raid is designed, like the first raid boss is your own, is each side's red buff and blue buff. Those are the first 2 raid bosses.
Okay, yeah.
And then
level.
Each team like fights a Rift Herald and a Dragon. And then after that, you have to go to mid, you have a 5v5 PvP deathmatch, and whoever wins the PvP is the only one that gets the chance to fight the final raid boss, which is Baron. And you only get 1 try, and if you wipe, you're a loser and you need to get good.
All right, well, top side, no wipe quite yet. Bottom side, they get an engage, though, onto Raes down to 50%.
Raes and Destiny falling on back. Here's Zven and Vulcan bloodthirsty on this Kalista Nautilus combo. You love to see it. You know how much playmaking is available with these 2 champions, especially once they hit level 6. It's so deadly down here.
Definitely true. Love the long-range combinations that you can try and add with DPS from the Ziggs Leona side. You know, if you do bring a Diana down or something like that, you know, Revenge does have teleport advantage on top side for the set. So anytime you have a map like this where, yes, you have a weak bottom side in Leona Ziggs, but they have very high CC and damage potential, and you have a teleport advantage.
Right.
That makes this Cloud9 bottom lane second guess a little bit with some of the pressure they're putting out. So you see C9 there. They do play it cautiously. They just push up the wave. They let Immortals catch it, and they're paying very close attention to sweeping all the wards behind them, make sure there's no teleport spot for Revenge to flank on them. Now that Revenge uses his teleport back to top side, they've gotten past the danger time of the teleport discrepancy there. They don't have to worry about it anymore. And off of the reset, they're just coming for Rift Herald.
Yep, Rift Herald will be started up by Cloud9 here already. They were the team to secure that first neutral objective in the Dragon on bottom side. And with this first rotation, nobody from Immortals is going to be moving over to stop this one either. So, Kobe, let me ask you this. Obviously, everybody's expecting Cloud9 to be the favored team here. The desk was talking about how they like the Cloud9 draft so much.
Not Freak,
okay, everybody stands Freak is expecting Cloud9 to be the favorite team here. But never mind, hold on. Let's see if they decide to make a play, then I'll continue my question. Try to go in for it, flash out of Revenge. What do we need to see from Immortals to inspire confidence in them to be able to really bring the fight to Cloud9 here in this game?
Well, there's no way they're going to fight this Rift Herald fight with the early transition from Cloud9. You know, we talked about them. They push their bottom wave up, so that means their bottom wave lane gets first move. So what we want to do is push as hard as you can on the other side of the map. You're not going to fight against the early game, you know, Kalista, Nautilus moving up towards Rift Herald and into this tower. So they just want to get paid as much as possible during this time without losing anyone else's life. So this is correct by Immortals. They just have Revenge back off from topside to stay safe. He's even leaving the entire area and send everybody else down to take down this bottom turret. Make use of the Ziggs passive, you know, short fuse helps out in taking down these turret plates. Then if they can get it low enough, you know, 25%, try and use the execute on the satchel charge. It's not going to be as quick as Cloud9, and Cloud9 with the early move because of the tempo pushing first on bottom side do get the first turret bonus. But you see here, at least Immortals got paid for their time, and they didn't sacrifice extra deaths.
And up there in the top side, Cloud9 will get the second Rift Herald charge off onto that tier 2 turret, so a little bit of extra value out of that one, besides the first turret that they earned for themselves. Up about 800 gold. Fudge feeling comfortable here in this quote-unquote 1v2 because he knows he has plenty of backup nearby if his opponents would choose to engage on him. Checking back here in the mid lane, still about a one wave of CS worth of advantage here for Insanity as Perkz picks up these couple of range minions that are still persisting there. Bottom side, Cloud9 looks to go for the dive, however, with skill shots not connecting. We'll see if they want to keep on going. Yes, they do. Blaber's going in for the damage, and he's got first blood. Vulcan tanks up the turret to guarantee Cloud9 gets out.
And these are the advantages of pushing your waves first, getting that first move. You know, people call it different things, tempo, you know, timing advantages here, but it's Cloud9 off of recalls. You know, you push hard on top side. Off the recall, you have the extra 20 seconds of time, so everybody goes bottom. We saw them ahead of time, grouping up in the tribe rush, trying to push on the reset here of Immortals. Diana's still walking from base, so they have this timing window. They well executed into the wall. Blaber kicks him right into the wall, so no extra you know, exchange here. Ziggs actually did not even flash for Raes and have the time there after getting locked up, so well executed within this small timing window, and Cloud9 are staying on schedule, basically. When you're the one with the early priority, the early move, you want to keep up forcing these plays, staying ahead of schedule so that you can increase your lead over your opponents. And that's what they've done here, Flowers. Very nicely done with first blood finally picked up. Yes, they are probably going to give over this dragon because of resetting Perkz up the top side and having the Akali look for the level 11, but they established themselves with the early game gold lead.
And Blaber, despite the fact that he's 5 camps or so down because, you know, he did the first Drake, he did the first Rift Herald, he went top to drop it and then made the play bottom, those things all got Cloud9 a lot of advantages. Blaber's now at the point where he has the mythic footwear, they're free-ass boots. I don't even know what the real name for it is. I call it free-ass boots.
Yeah, back to the original, baby.
Yeah, he's got that. And the Gore Drink are already completed. So he's in a really good spot here in the Lee Sin to continue being a playmaker and a catalyst for Cloud9 to build some more leads here. They are up about 1,000 gold. Revenge just hanging out again, playing safe, not extending too far forward, knowing that he is a target for Cloud9 as they go in underneath the turret and they burst him down before he's able to get the haymaker.
And the caster curse comes in.
I'm sorry, Revenge. I didn't mean it.
He's not sorry. I saw him up here. He's got a death note. Just wrote your name down, my friend. As you are speaking, the Hex flash over the wall there from Vulcan right into the dredge line hook. And it's actually so well executed, you know, did not get the W from Revenge. So perfect execution here from Perkz, actually true to its name, and they have enough burst damage take down this set. And again, a very quick timing window where they have enough damage, they finish off the kill, and it continues to look fairly surgical for them. I will still say it has been pretty good responses from Immortals thus far. They finished up the tower on bottom side, so they are not dragging so far behind in gold that they cannot come back through a very big wombo combo fight. You have Diana, and it's so good at grouping people up for the Ziggs bomb. So if there is Sett flank. You have Leona long-range ultimate, Diana grouping people up. That's the dream that's still alive here for Immortals. And they haven't sacrificed so much in the early game that it's out of reach. Very, very capable stuff still here. A little bit dangerous weak side maneuver here from Cloud9 to transition back into their own area.
Okay. Nice catch onto Blaber here. And Immortals, they get themselves on the board. Take down the Cloud9 jump.
And that is why we always caution against trying to retake territory off of these swaps. When it has been this seesaw of pressure for each side, Cloud9 rotating between top side, push on that tower, back to bottom side, go for the dive, then back to the other side of the map. Immortals just established control on this quadrant of your jungle, so they're walking in cautiously. You could tell, they're checking brush with skills. They know that it's dark. It could very well still be filled with Immortals members, but not cautious enough, Flowers.
Nope.
Still going in there with the body, and Immortals get paid. That is the Leona-Diana combination. Match made in heaven. The lore's backing it up.
We're ready to go, baby.
Xerxe's getting paid for it. That's the lockdown with the damage of Diana. He's got the Riftmaker Diana build too. This is the more DPS style. It's not the the rocket belt kind of burst positioning area here. This is long damage, stacking up your Conqueror, stacking up your Riftmaker, really looking to carry out on some of these 5-on-5 scenarios for Immortals. So Cloud9 have to be very cautious, especially about where they have been giving back some of this gold.
Okay, Fudge is going in for the 1v1 against Revenge, but he ults out defensively as Xerxe shows himself here too. With Perkz joining the fight, he'll look to go even further. Revenge flashing away. Xerxe could be the target. Perkz hitting a lot of damage. He goes in, he grabs the kill, and he flashes the wall. It's a 1-for-1.
Right into the wall, faceplant. That's one of those ones, you feel bad because if I could just get a little bit closer to this wall, try and get over. But in the end, you burn your flash and dead to rights anyway. So that's going to be an extra summer spell. Perkz did get in there and get a kill for himself, but topside!
Oh, Insanity just culls him. Makes this one what will be a 1-for-1. There's no way you're getting out of that. But hey, good looks, making it even.
That was a very funny exchange of duels. First, you've got the blind martial artist trying to fight the dude with 2 laser guns. And you're like, all right,
this is literally a scene from a movie.
Yeah, you know which way that one goes. Okay, Lucian gets the kill, but then you bring in the sword here as Viego teleports in behind him, finishes off the 1-for-1. Here's another look at the setup where they were trying to coordinate a teleport play for Cloud9, but they had already backup from Immortals. Perkz still wants to go for it though here. When you're at that point with Akali, you've just hit your marks. You're level 11, item completion. You want to make use of it. If he was a tiny bit closer to that wall, you wait a couple more seconds. He didn't want the extra time for the tower shot to come through. That's why he did a little bit early there, but ends up burning the flash on top. Here's Insanity. Great ultimate. Guns him right down, but Fudge is able to teleport behind, and so you already know the end to this story. No way for Insanity to get right back out.
You're stuck. It looked like Blaber wanted to walk close enough to get the kick to stop the culling and hopefully survive that way. But unfortunately, as you walk close to the guy firing bullets at you, sometimes you eat a lot of those bullets in the process. So Blaber just took too much damage there. As we got the engage here in the mid lane, Destiny goes in, Zven gets caught, and Immortals take down the Cloud9 AD carry.
Looking really good. A lot of this stuff coming off the back of Destiny. Leona engages over and over, Flowers.
And that second Rift Herald is then worthless. Cloud9 summon it up here in the mid lane, and you can see Immortals kill it before it even gets the charge. So hey, not a whole lot coming out of that one. It ends up just being 100 gold for taking it, and Immortals will grab their second Drake of the game here.
So much being taken back by Immortals here. And that's why in the early game, as well as Cloud9 are doing to keep ahead on their pressure every 30 seconds, pushing ahead, the next play, the next dive. Immortals not giving up a lot in those first few plays really does mean everything here, as in the mid game, so many of these transitions have gone in their favor. And as you say there, some of the early work even by Cloud9 that they put into the effort goes unpaid. The promise of the later paycheck of this Rift Trail, resulting in
that check's still in the mail.
A tower destruction or something. Yeah, that thing's been lost in the mail. Guess what? It's expired now. You can't even cash it.
Ooh, unlucky. You hate to see it. Cloud9 now down 1-2 in terms of Drakes. We'll see here in 4 minutes if they're willing to contest for that one. The gold state of this game, my friends, very, very close. Only 400 separates our two teams here. You can see Fudge still feels in a very powerful position here in the side lane on Viego with a build going for this Divine Sunderer first against a tanky opponent. That's how you're going to feel. He's very, very effective in these isolated fights against Revenge, who is just, he's got the Gore Drinker. He rushed the Bramble Vest as you need to against Viego, so he'll be scaling up into that big meatball here for the team fights. And that's one thing that I'm looking at when I look at these two compositions in a 5v5. You have a much stronger tank line in terms of Revenge and Destiny here on Sett and Leona compared to what is just a Nautilus on the side of Cloud9. Zven's going to be your target yet again, and he's caught out of position with nowhere to go.
Another great engage there from Immortals, and we're just about to go over, yes, Flowers, some of the way the team fights are going to play. For Cloud9, they've got these divers in Akali and Viego, but it's kind of hard for Kalista to play with a little bit of the short range. Revenge does use the W.
Okay, Haymaker's already out of the picture. Let's see if Immortals are able to fight back here. Perkz goes underneath the turret, but he gets cold down. And Cloud9 lose 2 for nothing. It's about to be 3. Xerxe finishes it off, and Immortals are slamming this mid-game.
Well, congratulations, Freak. There's no way Cloud9 comes back from 4 extra kills given over. Woo. It's just all Immortals here. Flowers, Freak made his bet. One game too early between this matchup. Immortals now wresting control from Cloud9, the 2v2 outplay on top side, then chasing down the extra kill here up through the top river. And this is in preparation of establishing full control over the bottom side of the map. You can just get your reset off. You see them now restocking on these control wards, easily able to move their vision over. Revenge starts it out onto Fudge here. He had a really nice clap back here, getting the stun, then ults over towards the tower with the extra heal there, even after his W was done. And Insanity finishes off the kill onto Perkz, again with the ultimate channeling. Meanwhile, the Diana-Leona combination finds another victim.
True love is the pick that helps you get picks from your opponent. Over and over again, these two champions work so well together up there in that top lane too. Insanity, I got to give this man some praise. 3-1-2 here on the Lucian. Seems like he's been involved in every single one of these big moments. He is having a good game here so far.
He is. He definitely is. The extra shield coming in from his Eclipse as well, doing a little bit for the all-in attempts that are coming over and over again.
Talking about all-ins, it's time for Akali, and that's exactly what she wants to do. Takes off about half of Revenge's HP there, but he's back underneath the turret. Immortals are rotating more players up here to try to stop this if Cloud9 wants to go any further, but they recognize it and pull back.
Yeah, Cloud9, so what they have is a lot of good side lane options here. You know, with the Akali, with the Viego, they haven't been able to make use of it though. Rain damage! Flowers, that is downtown!
Set him up for the alley-oop just to get the assist money, baby, and Raes picks up his second kill of the game.
Range is such a good stat, Flowers, and Kalista is lacking in it. The culling moves him off. Zven has nothing else to hop to there. Gets blown up with the Ziggs ultimate, and that's not it.
Immortals are deciding they're just going to go for the fight. They know Cloud9 want to stop them, but they will get the kill onto Insanity. It's traded 1-for-1 here as Vulcan will fall. Blaber jumps right back into the pit, now looking to use Baron to try to escape. Ward hopping back to his ally, looking to escape somehow. Perkz now going to be your target, looking to skirt the fight, get away somewhere, some way, somehow. Blaber healing up here with the Gore Drinker as Fudge is nearly dead as well. Perkz tries to escape back into enemy territory. Fudge gets away with less than 100 HP, less than 50. He's barely holding on here as Perkz just walks over a minefield and he is gone.
It looks fun to see these champions scramble, Flowers. You know, everybody over the last month complaining about Viego, Lucian, Akali-style champions in and out, dashing through these team fights, but Immortals stay strong. They group up, fighting them off with the early kill. They're able to chase down the remnants of the Cloud9 resistance here, getting the extra kills as they try and exit through their own jungle. And guess what? Immortals have full priority over Dragon number 3 already. They just continue stacking them up.
They have been looking awesome for the past 10 minutes or so here in this game. Now with 3,500 gold lead, they're 1 away from that slow. They're on soul point here at 22 minutes. Perkz coming in bottom side. They're looking to make the play on Revenge. Immortals about to lose their top laner, but now they're rotating everybody down. They're willing to commit here to the counterattack, but is it a mistake? So far, they're trading 1-for-1 with Perkz already out of the picture. This still could be good. Double kill back over to Fudge. Viego's about to pop off. Here comes your next kill over onto Insanity, and Immortals are in a bad spot. The mine gets Raes over the wall. Fudge still continues the chase with the stolen Lucian dash. The Viego is ready to continue this if need be. Goes for the ulti reset here just to close the distance. Fudge is ready to keep this pursuit up. Vulcan is nearby, but is he close enough? Another one of those satchels will get Raes to safety yet again.
The reason they're chasing so far there for Cloud9 is if they pick off one more, if they actually kill Ziggs there, they kill Xerxe there, they could make a big comeback Baron play. But they're unable to lock down anybody else. You know, both the jungler and the Ziggs getting out here is just too much damage left up for Immortals. No further comeback mechanics here from Cloud9. A very much needed bit of gold though in the fight inside the jungle for C9. This is huge. The kick back there onto Revenge. They secure the first kill. That lets Fudge pick up the soul, and he's able to lock up Destiny, taking out the structure of Immortals teamfight. Then Insanity, while he had won basically the 2v1 for Zven and Vulcan on the top side, being having taken out already the front line, there was nowhere else for him to fight behind, and so Cloud9 turn. They pick up the extra kill, but again, no objective in the aftermath, and so they're still going to have to set up the next big play here around Baron before they can actually force through a move.
Viego's address is 1234 Reset City. When you let the champion go home, the champion has a great time. As long as those resets start to pour through, he really gets to showcase how powerful this champion can be. So we'll keep our eyes on Fudge in these upcoming fights to see if he can find those windows again.
Plus, he's invested very heavily in magic resistance, because the thinking here from Cloud9 is if we can kill Insanity, this Lucian, then all the threat is going to be AP threat. So
Ziggs and Diana.
You build MR to try and actually soak the damage, because you're not going to be able to avoid this AoE AP threat from Immortals with both Ziggs and Diana having so much good AoE for these team fights. But if you can kill the Lucian, then you can avoid the attack damage that way. And it's all going to hinge on the flank from Lee Sin, from Akali, from Viego. Nautilus ultimate. Can they actually kill that Lucian early? If not, they're going to suffer huge consequences, because Insanity has dealt a tremendous amount of damage when left unattended, and has been critical here in kind of rounding out the Immortals 5-on-5.
And for Immortals, that makes me curious, how well will they respond to the threat that will be on Insanity, knowing that information, right? Are we going to see a stopwatch soon out of this Lucian for a crucial fight that can stop that dive? Because if everybody spends resources trying to kill this one champion, and you're able to outplay that, all of a sudden the counterpunch can be equally as brutal. Under 2 minutes now until the next Drake is alive. Remember, this one would be Mountain Soul for Immortals, which will make the job of killing off that Lucian in time that much harder, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to make the job of killing him off harder. It's going to make the job of killing anyone to get a reset for Viego harder. That is exactly what Cloud9 need to avoid. They've got multiple assassins on their team with Akali, so avoiding that extra shield at all costs is critical. And the way they want to do that, you want to push out on the side lanes first to try and gain that extra map pressure in setup for the objective. Minute and 20 seconds still left. Immortals aren't going to force too much here unless Cloud9 walk into their waiting arms. Again, the Diana Leona linking up. Destiny and Xerxe have done such a good job of making use of this support jungle synergy, always going for vision together, looking for the picks together. They really do play so solidly as a team, and that's been one of the truest through lines for this Immortal squad, is how they've kept up very good mentality and have played off of each other so well, even when they were suffering at the bottom of the standings. All smiles and all coordination is really what's been bringing them back.
And I feel so smart now, because there is a stopwatch in Insanity's inventory. I called my shot and we got it.
I know if there's
That's
one
not
thing,
even Skarner, and I got it right.
I know if there's one thing too that you always look for.
Yes.
It is those stopwatches, because they're so frustrating. Big call there.
They just
for
define
Flowers.
a fight, right? They define how a team fight can go. They warp the entire landscape of a team
It's
fight.
Flowers time, baby!
The item is what I pay attention to, and it's in Insanity's inventory. That's one that both teams need to be aware of, as Cloud9 is now moving into position, but it's Immortals who have control over the river first. Ziggs' AoE control is nothing to scoff at. If Cloud9 are not coordinated with this engage, they will find themselves having to deal with a lot of poke. but it is C9 who have control over the Dragon. They're going in. They're establishing that priority as Vulcan's going to get caught. Pulled over to safety by Zven now. Fudge going into the back line, looking for the kill onto Raes. Vulcan going to be taken low here yet again, but the Ziggs is already about to die. Perkz going to be staying alive, grabbing the shutdown kill onto him. Still hanging out in the smoke. Shut down onto the Diana now as well. Vulcan will be the first casualty here of C9. Perkz uses the Shuriken flip. Tries to get himself all the way away. Zven could be very vulnerable here. Revenge, Insanity, and Destiny all still alive. Cloud9 have low health bars, but 2 teleports. They can re-enter the fight now. You can see exactly that's what they're doing. First, it'll be Fudge back. Perkz coming in on the flank now. Cloud9 will successfully 2 for 1, use the TPs, and get the Drake.
So much credit to Secret Agent Perkz. The 007 is back, but it actually is beneficial to Cloud9 here. He's able to slip into that line brush towards mid lane, and he threatens both carries right at the beginning. So they immediately get Raes chunked down, and they get the flash and the dash out of Insanity. Very, very critical to flank when you're the ones with all of these assassins, the Viego, the Akali. Perkz does it, he gets into the back line, they force out the extra pressure here, and Cloud9, they avoided that Mountain Soulflowers at all costs, and they continue to build up to a crescendo here around Baron. This is where it's all going to come through. Immortals just have to reset and then, bring their extra control wards over to try and push Cloud9 through. If they're diligent in their vision work here and you cut off these flank angles, it becomes so much more difficult for Cloud9 to execute that same success in the team fight we just saw around Dragon and repeat it around Baron. You saw even in the end there, they're unable to finish off Insanity because he's got Secret Service agents, Revenge, and Destiny, walking him through to safety up through the jungle. Yep. Here's another look at it though. As they're trying to have this structured 5-on-5, Fudge and Perkz into the back line. They finish off Ziggs here, and Vulcan is able to help them zone through Insanity. Meanwhile, Blaber finishes off the Diana in the back of the pit, so no smite left for Immortals. And then while they do have the beefy front line here to try and escort Insanity out, they don't have the firepower, the capability to fight off the rest of Cloud9, and with the double teleports well used, they do pick up the extra objective here, buy themselves some more time.
And although Immortals were at one point almost 4,000 gold ahead in this game, the past couple of fights that Cloud9 managed to pick up all those shutdowns and all those kills in, Cloud9 are now actually in the lead in terms of gold despite being down in kills. They do have one more tower than their opponents. They have been farming well. Immortals are onto the Baron, and the Baron's at 5,000 HP. Cloud9 are moving in. They're ready to fight. What is the call from Immortals? We need to see everybody on the same page if they're able to get out alive in this one. Baron's at about 2K. Now you've got Revenge here on the front line. He's in a bad spot, but Vulcan's even worse. He'll be the first one to die. Blaber running away. Perkz at very low HP. He's there in the smoke. Raes gets the kill on him, and now they're looking to take down Fudge. He gets the reset here in the Diana. Destiny looking to re-engage. Fudge into the back, grabbing a rampage here. Pop it off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Give Fudge some more. Double kill over to Viego. You do not mess with the Ruin King. It's in the lore. It's in the game. It's Fudge. And an ace for Cloud9.
Spawn said he's on that Fudge trade, Flowers, and so is every member of the Cloud9 camp. He got the Viego resets into the backline, using the Diana dash into instant ultimate to finish off the last member in Zven with the Kalista life-stealing through. The wits' ends are coming up so big for Cloud9, diminishing the rest of this magic damage, and look at the way that this one starts out for them. They look for the engage. That Ziggs bomb is kited out. Then they go for their re-engage straight through the front line. And even though Vulcan dies first, you immediately get this execute onto him and the reset for Fudge. So Fudge picking up the set body here, able to get the CC for front line. Ult's overthrew. Diana body picked up. Ult's on backside. Finishes off both carries there. Picks up the body of Insanity to kill off Raes.
Maybe it's easier now.
That's the Viego dream. When they created the champion Flowers, that was what they envisioned. That's the dream.
That's why they call it the Honda Performance Play. That's the kind of performance you need to see out of your top lane carry champion. 6, 1, and 5 here on Fudge. What is that? 11 out of 15 kill participation. Not too shabby. Doing a great job here to carry the squad. 4 completed items plus his boots now, one of which is Guardian Angel. The other is Xerxe. He's so hard to kill.
Yeah, speaking of those Guardian Angels, that's one of the best items to build against Viego to try and stop these resets, not let him pick up your body. And Insanity does have a broken stopwatch now, but it's going to still be a while before he can actually upgrade and complete into a Guardian Angel of his own. So Immortals now actually feeling like on the back seat here, they're going to have to try and stall, build up some more time till they can deal with this dive that is so successful now from Cloud9, especially if they're able to get this angle through. You know, this Baron buff is going to empower them to take most of, if not all, of the secondary turrets, which are worth 250 gold more than previously. So big payday there for Cloud9 off of that fight. That was so critical. Fudge and Zven coming up really big for them. Perkz did get the threat onto the backside and got out the early flash there, but the finish up was so big for them because it's a domino effect, Flowers. You get that, then you get to push up your waves, means that you get to stall out another one of those mountain souls.
Yup. Hey, they're both on soul point now. We only get one more mountain, Drake. We gotta have a mountain soul in the next one.
We are into overtime for the soul points. Only one dragon left to spawn here. The Elder one, it doesn't count.
Yeah, that's true. We don't care about him. He doesn't contribute to the soul counter. But for this Immortals squad that was having such a good mid-game, Cloud9 have done a great job finding their way back in, taking control of the game, and now they're the ones with a commanding lead. They're the ones 5,000 up. Diana and Leona are no longer strong enough to just force their way into the enemy jungle, set down a control ward, and go for a pick because Cloud9 are roaming around as a team. They are making sure to not give Immortals those opportunities, and then when the team fights come, they're outplaying them 5v5.
And the stopwatch is in the other pocket now, Flowers. Cloud9 have stopwatches on Perkz and Zven, plus the fully upgraded Guardian Angels that we mentioned on both Viego and Blaber. It is...
It's hard to kill anybody not named Nautilus.
Yeah, you have to start counting up these pseudo lives, these pseudo, extra HP, stasis moments in the team fights for both sides, and Cloud9 are definitely winning the artillery war there. Let's take a look here at the spread, though, because they're sending currently Fudge to bottom side, level 18 Viego with the teleport ready. Definitely is going to have full priority to push up and gain them priority in advance of moving their wards forward so that you can continue to look for, do we have teleports for all these angles? If Akali gets into the back line, if you have flank from Lucian for Blaber there to try and come up with a big kick, those are how you attack the 5-man, basically turtle squad of Immortals that are trying to have the more condensed team fight and make use of their AoE versus the spread out scatter. More individual, I guess, every man for himself, kind of play for your own win con there style from Cloud9.
And I do want to point out that because Medjai's was his last item, Raes is now full build. So the Ziggs is at an incredible point of strength to continue wave clearing, and just this champion by design, by nature, so good at stopping your opponents from having a good push. It pretty much demands that Cloud9 gets a Baron if they really want to try to break this base of Immortals' side. So I'm expecting to not see a whole lot of action here for the next 90 seconds until we do get to that Baron fight, but then that one's probably about to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, one of the critical things too, of course, as demonstrated in the last team fight by Cloud9, is them kiting out on some of this damage, because while Ziggs' AoE and damage output is tremendous, it is also a bit telegraphed there. So if you can make use of your mobility for the rest of these champions for Cloud9, you kind of expand and contract in the team fight and are able to get the re-engage like they so successfully did previously towards the Baron. That is their way to success. Immortals have a lot of work to do, actually, to clear out so many of these deep wards. This is where it gets very dangerous for them, because Cloud9 has so much extra information, constantly looking for these transitions between the Immortals members that are trying to just clean up these side waves, constantly being pushed into them. And that attention to detail is going to go a long way. If you have Ziggs walking through, very dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
If Revenge is taking care of the duty, though, as he should there, moves in, clears out some of the garbage, that's exactly what you want.
Yep, Revenge is nice and tanky, but of course up against the damage threats of this Viego, this Akali, this Kalista, it can still be a pretty bad time if they're not ready to back him up appropriately. Less than 90 seconds until the Mountain Soul for either squad finds his way onto Summoner's Rift. Baron will also be live here in about 3 seconds, so that means that Cloud9 will prioritize control over the entire river, working on this top half here first. You can see Perkz using that sweeper, just making sure that Immortals are not extending that vision line any further. You can see Immortals have a total of 1 ward past the river. It is on the backside of the Cloud9 red buff, and that is it. Meanwhile, Cloud9 planting down multiple sources of vision here in enemy territory.
I got you. This little guy right there.
Yeah, buddy.
The deepest of wars. He went into uncharted territory. Very dangerous mission.
It's probably a zombie ward or something, too. I expect that's a remnant from a while back that hasn't been cleared away, and it just somehow avoided the great ward killing.
The most stealthy zombie of all time. That zombie was.
Stealth attack zombie. The one that sneaks up behind you in a horror game, and you're like, ah!
I actually don't like the trend of zombies getting more intelligent, more quick, and more stealthy. The zombies in back in my day, Flowers, is easy. Just bonk them on the head. Yeah, you can just walk around them. Oh, yeah, real scary. Here we go, the Immortals. They're just walking into the river. No connection there onto Perkz to burst his spell shield, but they're just going to force through on Baron and make Cloud9 walk to them.
Okay, Perkz loses his spell shield, loses about 40% HP now as well. Immortals bring revenge over the wall with a blast cone, removing that opportunity for Cloud9's use as well. Vulcan goes in. He's ready to start off the fight. He's going to be pulled to safety with just a moment to spare. Fudge goes dominating here with Raes being the first kill. Destiny about to die now too. Double kill back over to Xerxe. We're having deaths on both sides. Guardian Angel's going to be procced. Insanity wants to get himself away, but Revenge and Xerxe are stuck in a fight they cannot win. Fudge continues resetting, and there's just no way to deal with it, Sonya's or not. Double kill back over to Viego. The aggro drop of that ulti is so damn strong, and Cloud9 take the fight.
It's a stopwatch diff, Flowers. The Guardian Angel means Fudge could just charge into the back line. Vulcan goes through. Doesn't care at all about his HP because he just wants to start the fight for Cloud9. They take care of business. They're rewarded with the Baron and the Mountain Soul. Everything on the Rift belongs to C9.
They are loving the outcome here. And with only Insanity being alive, Destiny just now respawning, I suppose, Fudge has an easy time taking this one down. Blaber will rotate over just to make sure they guarantee it. Mountain Soul for Cloud9, Baron for Cloud9, another team fight over to Cloud9, and an 8,500 gold lead. You guessed it, for Cloud9.
How about that Fudge factor? All right, let's take another look. Vulcan, he's at 50% HP, but he doesn't care. He gets his ultimate onto the Ziggs, and then look at that. The Ziggs is dead. It's just straight up the middle. He flashes, hooks in, makes sure he gets his Nautilus ult onto the Ziggs, and then guess what? When you have the double flank, Akali execution, plus Viego coming in from top side, really well executed on this timing from Cloud9. They have everybody collapsing. Here we go.
But we're already ready to go. It's Cloud9 about to lose their AD carry. Insanity's grabbing the kill onto Vulcan, as now Zven's going to lose his Guardian Angel, but they're still fighting further. Blaber's looking to go in, and Perkz is right next to him. Immortals with a lot of low health bars. They're about to kill Perkz. He goes into the stasis, staying alive. Revenge tanking up here on the front line. Immortals striking back beautifully, and Fudge will not be able to reset. It's exactly what you were talking about, Kobe. Guardian Angel denies the reset mechanic. It denies Viego's design, and it denies the victory for Cloud9 in this fight. It is a 4-0.
He who has the Guardian Angel wins the team fight, Flowers. This time around, it's the revive for Immortals. They charge through. How deep can they actually get, though? Blaber, with his dying breaths, went for the minion wave there. You see, he moved up, killed off the last minion wave, so they have to wait for one more, but Xerxe's got it right here. And
there's a lot of time.
They're coming right inside.
There is a lot of time. You have Ziggs, and still 15 seconds left on the timer for Perkz. Zven and Vulcan are not incredibly strong at this point in the game. Insanity popping off with a calling here. Vulcan looking to stop him somehow. Zven's going to get stunned up. Vulcan getting stunned up. Immortals looking to focus down. Nexus turret. Xerxe going for the damage on this Zven. Now Vulcan's going to be taken low. And with one fight, Immortals will win the game and take out Cloud9.
Hell yeah! What a game, Flowers! Are you kidding me? Guardian Angel difference indeed. Right back on the other side for Immortals here. Coming out of the replay with the engage into the heart of C9. Immortals running all the way to the Nexus.
Absolutely incredible. This team had an awesome mid-game. Cloud9 started fighting back. They were outperforming in the team fights. Fudge was hard carrying. They couldn't shut down the Viego. But all you need is one pick on that enemy carry One pick to start the fight off right. Immortals get that, they get the fight, and they take the win. That was cutthroat, and I loved it.
What a game. Back and forth here between Immortals and Cloud9. In the end, Freak
was right.
Is double down. He was not right for the first game, which is when he made the bet. But he did double down, so we're giving him some credit.
All right, we're kicking it over.